is 9:07 in the evening. Hope all is well. I am back from vacation. Back from vacances, ladies and gentlemen. Out at Faraday Lake in uh, where is it now? In Brockton. Yes, indeed. Faraday Lake. I always remember Faraday. Yes, yes, Faraday Township, Bancroft. There we go. I was out in Bancroft, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the people of Get Bancroft. Shout out to the people of Faraday Lake, uh, and the lovely cottage life that's out there. It is fantastic. Faraday Lake is one of the great lakes of this province. If you ever had the chance to get out there, please do. The water is clean. It is fantastic, and as it says here, it's known for its fishing, particularly smallmouth bass, lake trout, and largemouth bass. The lake is accessible from Lake Monk Road and Trout Lake Road off Highway 28. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I love my time there. I was pleasantly surprised. Pictures are to come up on my personal site, so if you are a member, and I'll release some to Talk Live as well as some of the cottage life that I enjoyed. It was a fantastic occasion, a good week of great weather. Did some water skiing, did some tubing, did some boarding. Um, it was fantastic. It was literally fantastic. It's so great to be out there and just to get a little bit of relaxation. Something hopefully at the end of the year to help out things as well. Somewhere south, somewhere warm as well. But Faraday Lake, fantastic place out there with the girlfriend and family, and yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. But welcome back to Talk Live, live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and also uh, shout out to Dunk Talk, DUNTLK.com. Spring summer line out now. I've had a few chances to have a look at them, and they look fantastic. So shout out to those at dunktalk.com for sponsoring Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, my viewership's up, the numbers are up. So please let's keep it going. If you let's engage in this conversation as well. I am engaged on both Instagram and on YouTube simultaneously, and things are up and running, and things are going well. So thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been away a week. We're gonna be here Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I have a J. Um, Thank you very much for Lion BK. What a great week showcasing Dunk Talk. Yes, indeed. Had a fabulous week out in cottage country down in Bancroft at Faraday Lake, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. I want to get back out there again soon, but I don't want to see those horseflies. Those horseflies are killers, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine getting stung with needles at every beck and turn. That's what horseflies are. I wouldn't recommend it, ladies and gentlemen. Would not recommend it. But anyways, back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Into the subject matter tonight, and that is Shannon Sharpe. I have in the background the Jays. The Jays are doing their thing over the Yankees. They're up 4-1. Again, trying to expand that AL East lead, and I'll be there on Wednesday. So there'll be a show today. There'll be a show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to try and get one later on in the week uh, to see if we get a third show in. But tomorrow night we'll have another show as well. So stay tuned to Talk Live. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. On to the YouTubiest, boobiest. And let's do this. And my little search. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Yes, got that. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that delay. And here we go. Yes, indeed. So we
All
got
right, guys,
there.
we have learned that Shannon.
We have learned that Shannon Sharpe, yes, indeed, is indeed settled his case. So I'll let the lead attorney take it away from here. The lead attorney doing wonderful things YouTube streets. Shout out to lead attorney. Please like and subscribe to lead attorney. He has a fabulous program on his where it teaches you how to monetize yourself on YouTube. So do get signed up with that, ladies and gentlemen. But without further ado, I'll let my man, the lead attorney, take it away from here as the attorney breaks down why Shannon Sharpe paid up to settle $50 million lawsuit. That's essentially what the lovely lady that is Gabrielle Zuniga sued Shannon Sharpe for $50 million. Let's see what she actually got right here with the one and
Sharpe
only
has
Lisa
just
Turner.
paid tens of millions of dollars for this.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you, Hunt, for the tip. Okay, guys, I can't take the panties off and do it until we get to our next tip goal.
Okay,
Our next
here's
tip
the thing
goal.
I gotta show you, gentlemen. This is not exactly a classically beautiful girl. She's cute, but she has able to monetize herself. Now, again, as she's alluded to in this video, she is an OnlyFans model. She has managed to monetize herself to the point where thousands of men pay her a good amount of money in order to see her take her clothes off, as we will see here.
Um, Take panties off. I can't take it and take panties off until we get to our next tip goal, and then I'll take my panties off. But
This girl's 19 years old, ladies and gentlemen. She's 19 when she's doing this. Barely out of high school. Take that in.
right now, I'm gonna rub the lotion, and then maybe you can wait on it. Okay. Once we
This is how a woman made her living on OnlyFans, ladies and gentlemen. Thousands of women do. When most women average about $146 a week on OnlyFans, this girl was earning thousands of dollars on OnlyFans. So shout out to her. She's been able to monetize herself because she is at her youthful peak of on the sexual marketplace, and she's getting it. She's getting it right now. Let's see it.
get to our $1,500 tip goal, I'll shake my without the panties on.
Of course, as we all know, this is the beautiful, wonderful Gabby Zuniga. This was Shannon Sharpe's girlfriend for 2 years. She's talking about how she will remove certain articles of clothing for $1,500 a piece. You got to reach these tip goals so that she will show more of her skin to you. Now, this is on her OnlyFans account where she is talking to hundreds, if not thousands of men trying to collect this $1,500. But she has just reached a settlement with Shannon Sharpe that is worth tens of millions of dollars. Let me ask you, look at her now. She's beautiful, correct?
No, she's not. She is cute. She is what Kevin Samuels would say is not classically beautiful. She's cute. She's a six, maybe a bona fide six, uh, stretch six at a glance. But lo and behold, she is not exactly a woman who is highly beautiful. She's a stretch six. She's a she has cute inner vision. I mean, what made her special potentially was her body. It wasn't her face. Average face. You can see this on most girls out there. Average face. If Kevin had to rate this girl, she'd be a six, or if you had to doll herself up, maybe a super. Trying to think. A super six. Yeah, she could be a stretch six. So on her day, she can be an eight. On her day, she could be her six. But other than that, there's nothing special about
Did you pay her tens of millions? Does she
it. Nope.
deserve it? As a quick recap, you'll remember that Shannon met this girl, Gabby, at the gym. She was 19 years old at the time, and Shannon was like 56. She ended up filing a lawsuit in the beginning of this year against Shannon for $50 million. What was she claiming? She was alleging that when Shannon was at her gym, he was harassing her for her phone number. So this NFL Hall of Fame player is harassing her for her digits, but she gave it to him. Then this girl, Gabby, says, oh, well, Shannon Sharpe was harassing me for him to go over to his house. He wanted me to go over there. And then, of course, she went. And not only did she go the first time, but she kept going back. She kept going back. Now, what did she say? She says during this time when she was going over to Shannon's house, Shannon was abusing her. This is what she put in her complaint, all of these allegations of abuse. But she would claim that all this abuse was occurring, and then she would send Shannon Sharpe texts like this. You can see Gabby Gabby here sends Shannon a text saying, hey, I want to be abused, daddy. So she's asking for the same abuse that she's alleging that Shannon Sharpe did to her. She was complaining in her lawsuit that Shannon Sharpe was a monster, that Shannon would tie her up. But then what would this same girl tell Shannon in text messages? She wants to sue Shannon for $50 million for tying her up. And then she sends Shannon a text saying, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Gabrielle Zuniga was engaging in a bit of BDSM. If you did not know the term from uh, from uh, from the lifestyle, this is more BDSM. Uh, this is more SNL. This is more our of the case where um, women like to be tied up. They like to be and engage in sex through such bits of such bits of foreplay. She likes to be tied up. She likes to be, spanked. She likes to be uh, um, basically abused to a certain extent. So, but what Gabrielle did that was lucrative on her part, I guess it engages in a modicum of intelligence, is the fact that she saw this BDSM play, quite simply, as a way to um, basically get paid. Because, again, I think, as maybe alluded to throughout this video, Shannon promised her, I think, a different lifestyle, promised her a baby, even though she pleaded for it, she asked for it, really was trying to push for a baby and family, really try to push Shannon into such quarters where he would be a baby father. He would have her engaged in kids. Now, Shannon already has kids already. However, she wanted to be the next baby mama, and she pushed him to do it and gave him the sex that he liked in order for her to seem as being the number one girl so that he can enjoy the largesse of her riches and be the number one in Shannon's life. But that didn't happen. So what she did was she quickly changed gears to a point where, well, if I can't be your number one, I'm going to get something out of you. And this is where this BDSM chat that she's engaged in really worked towards her favor, because she saved all said text messages. And through the Me Too movement, ladies and gentlemen, the the line between consent and abuse has been blurred considerably, to a point where if a woman was say that she enjoyed sex one night and she did not enjoy sex the next, then she could sue on such things. So she could take any of these text messages that she has here to her lucrative advantages. Because remember, she could have easily taken him to criminal court, but she didn't want criminal court, ladies and gentlemen. She wanted to sue him. She wanted to be paid for her services. That's what she is now. She went from being the girlfriend to the OnlyFans girl, the good time girl, the person who would be involved in a transactional relationship with said Shannon Sharpe. When Shannon Sharpe should have known better, clearly should have known better, as advised by the likes of Cat Williams and Monique, for lack of a better word. Let's continue.
Girl Gabby was complaining that Shannon would record her having intimate relations with him. But then in her own lawsuit, she admits to having sex with Shannon on FaceTime in front of Shannon's childhood friends like Bucket. Imagine the audacity of her suing Shannon for $50 million for recording them having sex together when both of them know that he's on FaceTime with his friends Bucket saying, hey, look at her, Bucket. I got a good one, don't I? This girl is absolutely ridiculous. But guess what? This girl is laughing at Shannon all the way to the bank. She didn't need to study, didn't need to go to college, didn't need to sacrifice, and now she has generational wealth. More money than probably you and I will ever see in our lifetimes. So let me ask you, was this the whole plan from the beginning? Was it extortion?
No, it was not the plan from the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. This plan changed. Remember, she started out wanting to have a baby by Shannon Sharpe. She wanted to have a black baby in her estimation. If you check her text, I'm paraphrasing now, but if you check her text, it's all there. She wanted to have a black baby. Shannon gave her certain intimations of having a black baby. However, Shannon Sharpe, I think, heard the likes of Cat Williams, heard the likes of Monique that this is not exactly a woman on which you should base your life choices on, and therefore switch gears and just said, you know what, I want out of this. However, she saved texts. She realized that, you know what, through these texts, I can get paid. And with the like of Tony Busby as her counsel, she actually was the team.
Well, she certainly got paid. Just look at what she wrote. Here is what Gabby wrote regarding the settlement. She says, "Today, I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years."
I'm going to let that marinate those first few seconds of this text message. She knew that with Shannon about to sign a lucrative $100 million contract with an unknown social media provider, with Shannon about earning seven figures from his first take appearances on ESPN/ABC/Disney, being one of the top commentators in sports entertainment in the United States. This man was about to get paid, and he was paid. 2024 was a huge year for Shannon Sharpe. Huge. And Gabrielle Zuniga decided to get cash in. And by doing so, as lead attorney already stated, she saw more money in a day than many of us would see in a lifetime. And in so doing, she decided to retire from OnlyFans at the tender age of 20. Here's a funny fact. Shannon Sharpe and myself are born on the same day. Now, this doesn't mean a hill of beans, but for us to have the same birth date and to make totally different decisions on a woman such as this shows you that common sense is not common, people. Common sense is not common, and education is key to staying out of something like this. Clearly, Shannon, though a Hall of Fame quarterback, a very accomplished sports entertainment star, was not very bright. He didn't have it going on up here. Too many knocks to the head in his illustrious football career for him to make clear decisions, as you saw in his mistakes here. Ridiculous behavior. Pat Williams warned him. Monique extremely warned him. Go and have a look at Monique's appearance on Club Shay Shay. It is absolutely telling. It foretold that this would happen, and it happened. Sometimes a lot of times I hold women's feet to the fire. But when a man is wrong, I'm willing to admit it, especially a man who's born on the same day I am. Shannon Sharpe, you are absolutely ridiculous. There's no account for good taste. Sometimes a fool and his money are soon parted. We have a comment here from Lana BK. Your comment reminds me of the two Westmores, their parallel lives and shared beat. Yeah. How can one person born on June 26th know that this girl was coming down the path, and yet Shannon never did. And he's 4 years old. He's 4 years older than me. He should know better. He should know There was so much money on the line. Thank you, Lana BK, for that comment. There's so much money on the line here. You've lost your job with Disney until further notice. Hopefully, Stephen A. Smith can vouch for you to get your job back, but we'll see. And that contract that you had with for Cub Shay Shay, we have to wait on that. If not, if get that at all. But here we are. Who's the richer of the two of you now? It's probably Gabrielle Zuniga at the moment.
This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. Yeah, Shannon Sharpe gave you a life you would never imagined. But let's keep going. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever. Oh man, this is so sad. Shannon Sharpe is out here retiring OnlyFans models. And here is Gabby's attorney, Big Tony Busby, confirming the settlement of the lawsuit. What does Tony say? He says on April 20th of 2025, the Busby law firm filed a complaint in Nevada, making several allegations against the one and only Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe on behalf of our client Gabby. Both sides acknowledge a long-term consensual and tumultuous relationship. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I am pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. And dismissed with prejudice just means that Gabby is not allowed to refile this ever again. She can make no further claim. By Shannon Sharpe paying her all of this money, her lips are permanently sealed. Now,
Yes, indeed. Tony Busby saw winning action, and he got right onto it. He saw the text messages, and he banked right behind it. And he got paid too. You'll hear how much Tony Busby allegedly got paid later on in the show. But Tony Busby saw winning action here. He saw the text messages. He saw the abuse. He saw Shannon Sharpe being in a very vulnerable position with two very lucrative contracts, perilously teetering on the edge. And he said, let me get in on this. And lo and behold, within 4 months of filing the action, April 20th, it's now July 21st, 4 months after the action was filed, May, June, July, 3 months. Mr. Busby ended up winning big. In addition to the likes of Gabrielle Zuniga. After making such strides as black men, you keep getting knocked back like this by the likes of a Shannon Bloody Sharpe. Let's continue.
the question is, how much money did Shannon Sharpe pay Gabby Zuniga? Well, I'm going to tell you my best professional, educated guess on that amount. But first, we need to ask, why did he settle at all? When Gabby first filed this $50 million complaint, so many people took to social media to say, hey, Shannon Sharpe should not settle, shouldn't offer this girl a dime. They said by settling the case, he would be acknowledging that he's guilty of these allegations. They said that his reputation was worth fighting for and he should go to the ends of the earth to contest this case. Now, I've made a few videos on this topic and I have said in each and every one of those videos that this case will be settled. It will never see the first day of trial. I have practiced over 20 years and negotiated countless times and I know the whole playbook. This case was never about Shannon Sharpe's guilt or innocence. innocence. Remember, this Gabby, she never went to the police. She never filed any type of police report. She never tried to get Shannon arrested for any of this alleged abuse that she's complaining about in this $50 million lawsuit. This entire situation was only about one thing. It was about the dollar. Now you may say, well, Lead, if this case was about money, why did Shannon offer to pay this girl millions of dollars? Shouldn't he have fought this case to protect his reputation? The answer is no. When Shannon's attorney let it slip that Shannon had offered this girl Gabby over $10 million, he didn't offer to settle this case in any type of guilt or innocence framework. If I'm going to be honest, in a very real way, Shannon settled this case for you. You say, for me? Well, what do you mean by that, Lead? Listen, the only reason Shannon makes any money at all is because of you and how you feel about him, how you judge him, what light you see him in. The only reason that Shannon makes any money is because you exist and you have money, and so companies want to get in front of you. These companies feel like you hold Shannon Sharpe in a certain esteem and you watch Shannon Sharpe, so they want to use Shannon Sharpe to get in front of you. When Shannon Sharpe teamed up with Cat Williams on that famous episode of his podcast, a lot of people were trying to figure out how much money did he make. Well, Shannon was being coy about the situation, saying, hey, I made however much you think I made. But Gabby let it slip that Shannon said to her, this is her allegation, that he made $6 million on that one episode alone. Now, how did he make that $6 million? It's because companies paid YouTube to have their ads on that episode, and then YouTube split the money that they got from the companies with Shannon. So Shannon got a lot of money by chopping up this ad revenue from companies that sent the money to YouTube. YouTube says, Shannon, we got all of this money. We are going to keep 45%. We're going to give you 55%. And again, that's money that YouTube received from companies to get in front of Shannon Sharpe's audience. Who is Shannon Sharpe's audience? It's you. Now, in addition to that, Shannon may have had some sponsorships, some brand deals from who? From companies. Who wanted to get in front of who? They wanted to get in front of you. So it's so important for Shannon that you see him in a good light, because if you don't, then companies will not want to pay him to get in front of you. You're not going to watch him if you don't like him. Take Joe Rogan for a second. A lot of people like Joe.
Before we get to the Joe Rogan example for a second, the lead attorney is absolutely correct. He settled to protect his reputation, especially when it comes to future contracts, especially when it comes to future lucrative deals with advertisers and with sponsors. He could not take the hit of going through a protracted action against Gabrielle Zuniga in which everything was laid out in front of the eyes of the public. He saw what happened to Diddy. His lawyer saw what happened to Diddy. Diddy, even though he lives in the life of hip hop, in which what up is down and what's what up is down and what in is and what out is in, and quite simply, you can get away with having a bad reputation within the realm of hip hop, and it could elevate your status thereafter. But Shannon Sharpe is not a hip hop artist. Shannon Sharpe is one of the more bankable sports media stars on not only social media, but also on the likes of ESPN, ABC, and Disney. So therefore, what he did was make a proactive move in order to get ahead of this situation. Say, let me shut this down right now. Let's not have anything said about this. The text messages was damage enough, and I don't want to take any more damage. And he thought to himself, he made himself a cost benefit analysis, um, and said to himself, you know what? It's better for me to pay this out because I know I'll make. He thought it was that he'll make more for himself on the back end. So yes, it's an expensive mistake, but it was a mistake that would allow him to continue his career down the line, either on Club Shay Shay, on Night Talk, or on ESPN if given the opportunity. So he really did not want the brunt of what was held by Gabrielle Zuniga to reach the public eye. She is now sworn to silence. Again, the settlement was based on prejudice that nothing that Gabrielle Zuniga has in their possession will ever make the light of day, and she would be paid 20 million plus, or so to speak, for her silence. So this was indeed a calculated move, no doubt not only made by Shannon Sharpe, but also his counsel, saying that, you know what, if you bank on yourself, you think that you can move forward with your life and make more money going forward, then take the hit now and move ahead. And that's exactly what Shannon Sharpe did. But let's get into Joe Rogan here. Let's continue.
Rogan. And Spotify gave Joe $100 million to get in front of Joe Rogan's audience. Then when that first contract for $100 million ended, Spotify gave Joe an additional $250 million. That's $350 million that Joe Rogan received just so that Spotify can get in front of his audience. Now Shannon Sharpe is looking at that and saying, well, wait a minute. Joe had the biggest podcast episode of all time on YouTube, but I did an episode and it surpassed Joe. Now I have the biggest episode. So me and Joe, really, we're kind of doing the same thing. We're kind of neck and neck. If Joe can get $100 million, why can't I? Honestly, if Joe can get $250 million, why can I not get the same money? So Shannon is looking at this and saying, hey, the most important thing for me is to stay marketable so that these companies want to get in front of you. If you like me, then these companies will want to pay me to get in front of you. So Shannon wanted to sell this case because he didn't want you to look at him all crazy. Well, why would you look at him all crazy? Shannon Sharpe thought that maybe some of his audience would be offended that Shannon liked to engage in all this race play in his relationships. Shannon likes to have all these white women say, hey, I want you to put a big black baby in me. We all know Shannon's from the deep South and he's older. He's from the generation where a lot of black people didn't have a lot of money and they were using the bathrooms in outhouses. Shannon didn't have indoor plumbing until he was in high school or college. Apparently, Shannon's upbringing in those times have influenced how he is today, and he likes to engage in race play, have these racial themes throughout his relationships. Maybe some of Shannon's audience would look at him like, man, I can't rock with that. They may say, you're a sick man. If people are offended and they stop watching him, then his audience shrinks. And if your audience shrinks, now companies are not going to want to pay you the same. Maybe Shannon thought that some of his audience would be turned off or offended by all of this domination that Shannon would introduce into his relationships. It's well known that this 2-year relationship with Shannon and Gabby was rocky. It was tumultuous. And Gabby had alleged that they got into an argument once and Shannon said, you disrespected me. Now I have to punish this butthole. Shannon Sharpe doesn't want you to know that. Shannon may think that some of his audience, some of the women, might be turned off by anal destruction. Why on earth would Spotify pay Shannon Sharpe $250 million if Spotify is going to start getting emails from all these women saying, hey, why are you supporting Shannon Sharpe? We all know how fickle and sensitive these companies can be. They will drop you in a heartbeat. Shannon does not want to give any of these sponsors any ammunition, any reason to withdraw their support. Hold up, let's
Absolutely correct there. Well diagnosed by the lead attorney. Shannon realizes that his predilection for rough segs, for lack of a better word, his lustful nature will not play well in the public. That one thing, the reason why Joe Rogan gets the money he gets is because his private life is a private life. He's as clean as a whistle. He's as clean as fresh from the dryer underwear. He is the reason why Joe Rogan is worth so much is because he has a pristine reputation with the UFC, with Spotify, with his own talk show, and there are no controversies about him. at all. He is clean. He is so clean that all advertisers want to get behind a man like Joe Rogan. However, and that's what Shannon Sharpe saw, as stated by the lead attorney here. His interview with Cat Williams was the biggest interview in social media history. No one beats him. He doubled the viewership on Joe Rogan's best and most lucrative of interviews himself. I think it was Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump was his highest rated. He only did about, I think, 20 to 30 million. Shannon Sharpe is still into 70 million and still counting with his interview with Cat Williams. It is that's the reason, that's what put Shannon Sharpe on the map. That's what bought Shannon Sharpe his $100 million contract. The only thing is, as we'll reveal here later, Shannon thought that because of his success on ESPN and on his talk show Club Shay Shay on YouTube and through Night Talk, that he was deserving of the best, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive woman. Let's put it that way. And so he thought that he was entitled to be involved with such women, and for lack of a better word, treat them as he wished. But now he doesn't want to get let that sort of his predilection towards rough sex, his predilection towards, well, as stated here, anal sex. He did not want to have that affect his business life, affect his reputation, affect his superstar status within the sports and media world. So therefore, he's decided to take it on the chin, settle so that these sort of truths don't come out, so his reputation isn't sullied any further, and his career can continue, for lack of a better word. Let's continue. Oh, let's move on because
Take a pause from this 50 having fun. But these companies are not like that. They cannot take a lot of heat. They cannot take pressure from the community, from their audience, telling them to cancel somebody. And here in this case, you've got a black man who's almost 60 putting apparently dog collars on 19-year-old white girls talking about, I'm going to choke you out and I'm going to destroy your rectum. There's no way that Spotify wants to pay $250 million for that. It's obvious that Shannon Sharpe had to settle this case, not for any type of guilt or innocence framework, but he had to settle it for you so that you don't look differently upon him. If he can keep everything that Gabby knows a secret, then you see him as Big Unc. You see him as Shay Shay. You see him as schooling Ocho Cinco. Ocho's writing down all of Shannon's wise words.
And people wonder why they don't get the blessing that someone else. Ask yourself. See, you think you're doing everything right, but see, God know your heart. See, you can fool everybody else, but you can't fool that man upstairs, and you wonder why. Ask yourself. Ask yourself when you're alone and you by yourself.
You will continue to look up at
prophetic words. Should have heated it himself. Let's continue.
Shannon Sharpe as a wise unc and not some old dummy who's paying women tens of millions of dollars to put dog collars on them. Just mathematically, just by the numbers, it makes sense. It's really an investment. Shannon says, I will pay $10 million on the front end to get $100 million on the back. Pay $15, $20 million on the front end to get $250 million on the back end. That's exactly what Shannon should do. I myself will pay any woman $10 million if I can turn around in the same instance and get $100 million right back. I pay her $15 million to silence her forever and then get a check for $200 million. I would do that all day long. That's what countless celebrities have done in the past. That's what Shannon has done right now. And that's what celebrities and these athletes and people with money, that's what they're going to continue to do in the future.
Because athletes, celebrities, entertainers are human. They will make mistakes. And those mistakes will cost. However, the one thing that these athletes, celebrities, entertainers all have is money. And they can buy themselves out of these mistakes more so than you and I can. And so Shannon said to himself, you know what? I can buy myself out of the mistake. I will take the hit. It's a costly one, but I can do it because I know if I keep my reputation as pristine as it can be, I'll make it on the back end. If I keep doing this work, if I keep uh, making great content on YouTube, and if given the opportunity to do it on ESPN, I'll make it on the back end when it comes to earning the type of money that Joe Rogan earns. He'll earn his $150 million. He'll earn $100 million contract. That was on the table, and that is not off the table at the moment. It's still there. He's still making money on Club Shay Shay, still making money on Nightcap. That money is still there. If he continues doing his business as per usual, without this controversy, with this controversy in the background, because people have short memories, they still do. They very much do. They have short memories, and if his reputation is not as solid as it is, yeah, it's got a little dirt on him, but he can shake that off and move forward. Then he can make that $100 million again, and potentially $250 million if his talk show, Club Shay Shay or Nightcap, does even further business. Because, as Shannon was stating, he was on his way to getting A-list celebrities appearing on his show. Not just black celebrities, who are A-list, of course, but A-list celebrities, like white celebrities, like Hispanic celebrities, like bankable stars who are willing to promote their vehicles on air. That's where the real money is, and that's what Shannon Sharpe wants to protect and preserve. And as the lead attorney has already stated, celebrities have made such mistakes in the past and in the present and going into the future, and this will not stop. This will only continue because people are only human, and humans are prone to make mistakes. Let's continue.
All of the people saying that Shannon shouldn't settle, shouldn't pay this girl a dime, they don't know how the game is played. I can tell you as a 20-year attorney that this is exactly how you do it. Now, let's ask ourselves, how much money did this girl Gabby receive? If we look again at Tony's announcement of the settlement, of course, there are no numbers that are shown. Almost always in these settlements, the terms of the agreement are confidential. You remember when Puffy settled with Cassie? No one knew how much Cassie received until Cassie had to testify on the stand and disclose that she actually got $30 million. So the question is, how much did Gabby receive? Well, I will tell you that in my personal, educated opinion,
Before we get there, like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, people. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. Do comment on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm seeing those right now. This is a very hot topic, ladies and gentlemen, and it's showing you indeed how celebrities have way different lives than us, but we can learn from celebrities in this instance in terms of how to conduct ourselves in public. And but the only thing that celebrities do have is money, and they can get themselves out of these horrible predicaments and still come out shining. Let's continue.
I believe that Gabby got $33 million. Now you say, well, Lead, how did you come up with that number? Well, let me tell you. We have to remember that Gabby hired an attorney. She hired Big Tony. I promise you that Tony does not work for free. We lawyers, we attorneys, we charge on cases like this on a contingency basis. That means that we only make money if you win the case, but we are going to take a percentage. Now, how much is the percentage? Usually it's 30% if we can get the case resolved, if we can get it settled before we have to file a lawsuit. But if we have to file a lawsuit, then our percentage bumps up to 40. Now, there are no hard and fast rules. This is just in general what attorneys charge. So we know that Tony filed the lawsuit. So let's say that he's going to get 40%. If Gabby's total compensation is $33 million, then Tony's 40% is $13.3 million. How much does that leave Gabby? It leaves her with $20 million. That's right, the girl that you see on the screen.
Who is average looks? Look, she's an adjustable 6, ladies and gentlemen, at best. This is not a lady who's an 8, 9, or 10. This is not a lady who's going to be seen in Hollywood on catwalks or any such thing. This is an average girl. She may have an above average body, but this is an average girl who just won herself $20 million from a 57-year-old. that makes sense.
Has gotten a wire transfer for $20 million, in my opinion. Ask yourself, is she worth it? I will stop for a second to point out that
she is not worth it. I'll stop to point out that she is not worth it. Shannon, you're left with your little head than the big one. And now you're here to pay for it. Lucky that you have the money to pay it off, but it's a big L on your part. Let's continue.
it's commonplace nowadays on social media to have this kind of gender war, this men against women. A lot of men are asking women, well, hey, what are you actually bringing to the table? A lot of men think women's standards are too high. These women say, I am the table. Don't take me out to the Cheesecake Factory. Take me to fine dining. Take me on trips first class. Buy me these $50,000 Birkin bags. The men are saying, well, why would I do that? You're not worth it. And the women say, yes, I am, and they point to this. These women say, you're crazy if you think that I'm not on par with Gabby. I'm a 10. If Gabby got $20 million, why can't I? These women look around and see these cases where men are paying so much money to, let's be honest, kind of average looking women. They say, well, why would I expect less if people like Gabby can get tens of millions of dollars? You can't take me to fine dining? If she's worth $20 million, I at least have to be worth $15 million, right?
What this fosters is the advancement of transactional relationships. Women don't, especially when they're involved with celebrities, especially with involved with men with confident intelligence, they're high value men, Chads, Tyrones, men who are the top 15% or higher. They see relationships as transactional. They only see relationships, and this is due to social media, of course. This is only due to OnlyFans, of course. The likes of a Gabrielle Zuniga has only advanced transactional relationships and only fostered the distrust that men have for women. Because she was going to get her money by hook or by crook, and she had Shannon by the short and curlies. Either I get it by you putting a baby in me, or I'm gonna get it through these text messages and these voice messages. Only making relationships be more protracted between men and women, and that is sad. It is sad that things have devolved into this, but I told you, and David Chappelle said it well. Chivalry's dead, and women killed it. Here's another death sentence for the record books. Let's continue.
And if we're honest, it is a fact that this girl got millions and millions of dollars. So who's right in this situation? Let me ask you, how much would you pay Gabby? We saw that she was charging
average looking girl
$25,000 per cheek. Is it worth it? These are really interesting times we are living in.
She did say that she wanted $25,000 per cheek. Go back, check the internet. She did say that in text messages to Shannon. Sad but true. Let's continue.
Now, let's do this as final question. I think that Gabby asked for $33 million so she could break Tony off 13 and keep 20. We know that Cassie got 30 million. The question is, how do you view Cassie getting 30 million while Gabby gets 20? Whose situation do you think is better? We know that Cassie had to endure 10 years of abuse, if we can be honest, from Puffy, but she got 30. Gabby, let's say, only gets 20, but she only had to date Shannon for 2 years. So Gabby gets $20 million, but she saves 8 years of her youth. We know for Cassie to get the 30, she was getting beat on. We saw the hotel video. We saw the video where she was hiding up under that blanket with Puffy stomping on her. She got to 30, but then Gabby over here, she's getting choked out. She has a dog collar on her. There's some rectal obliteration going on, but she gets the 20. Who do you think of the two women came out better? Cassie had to have sexual relations with all of these different men. Shannon Sharpe was recording himself and Gabby having sex in front of his childhood friends, in front of Bucket. Shannon had Bucket right on the FaceTime. Oh, look at her, Bucket, look at her. That's what this girl had to endure, having sex with damn near 60-year-old Shannon Sharpe in front of Bucket. You know, who do you think came out better? She's getting the $20 million, in my opinion, while Cassie gets the 30. Put in the comments who you think got the better end of the deal between Cassie and Gabby. And
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know who got the better end of the deal. Definitely Gabrielle Zuniga. For $20 million for a few text messages, she got 2/3 of what Cassie Ventura took 15 years, countless amounts of physical and mental abuse. Let's call a spade a spade. And even though she was a part of the freak offs, helped organize them. Let's face facts here. She wasn't an angel, but she suffered a lot of physical and mental abuse on the part of Cassie, on the part of Sean P. Diddy Combs. And even though he wasn't charged criminally for it, she was paid off in a civil case, in a civil action. And so that should soften the blow, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, she's moving on with her life quite nicely. And the likes of Gabrielle Zuniga spent 2 years and got paid $10 million a year for being in the relationship with Shannon Sharpe. It's a no-brainer. Gabrielle Zuniga wins.
I will tell you, as the lead attorney, that the winner in all of this is Tony Busby.
You don't have to answer
Thank you very much to the lead attorneys doing wonderful
the
things.
question. I'll answer it.
We have an update on this shit.
Oh, stop. We'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. He had the update, but again, that is considered to be completed. So,
Asking me for him.
stopping there. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live. Let's sum up right now. Thank you very much to Lead Attorney, doing wonderful things in YouTube streets. Please like and subscribe to Lead Attorney. He's doing fantastic work on behalf of men, especially with his course on prenuptial agreements and also on YouTube streaming, ladies and gentlemen. So sign up to Lead Attorney. Wonderful things on his YouTube streets, and gave us a crash course on who the real winners and losers were with regards to action between Shannon Sharpe and Gabrielle Zuniga. So let's sum up, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here. I'll leave that, go back to the full camera. So that's all we have right now. Shannon Sharpe has ended his relationship, banking on the fact that you and I will still have belief in him, that he is still credible, he is still bankable, he is still a sports personality to believe in, and he is deserving of further monies for his other YouTube vehicles, such as Club Shay Shay, such as Nightcap, and of course, wishing to get back to work on ESPN and on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. So that's the end of things. Shannon would like to draw a line in the sand on this one so we can move on, but let us all learn the lesson, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot open yourself so blindly to the fact that a lot of these text messages are starting to be compiled by women to be used against you in for future reference. Gentlemen, if you're going to do any business with any woman, do not leave it to print. Do not sext anything that may come against you in future. If you're going to do anything in public, make sure you have an NDA. Make sure that it's done on the up and up. And if you see that this is becoming more and more or less transactional, get out of said relationship. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You deserve to keep as much as you have as possible. And unfortunately, life is becoming more transactional these days, ladies and gentlemen. If women don't have to work to get your money, they'll do it. Case in point, Gabrielle Zuniga right here. And it's unfortunate that she had to be compared to the likes of Cassie Ventura, but such is life, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years, $10 million a year, that is more than most athletes will make in their lifetime. But Gabrielle Zuniga caught a lick. And we are left with the remnants. Especially with a man born on the same day as I am. Oh my God. Anyways. A fool and his money are soon parted, and no good deed goes unpunished. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talk Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end it right there. But last but not least, R.I.P. to the one and only Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was an inspiration to me and to many black families through his portrayal of Theo Huxtable on the Cosby Show. I pray for his family and the repose of his soul. He was an inspiration to all of us. He had a long and lucrative career in show business. We are of the same age, Malcolm and I, and I grew up watching him. Grew up, well, seeing him as a role model, and his demeanor as one that I can easily emulate. And some people saw it as such in their own way, shape, and form. And so I pray that his family can get through this. And we lost a really great one to Malcolm Jamal Warner. And yeah, I pray that his family can get through this at this terrible time. And R.I.P. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Um, Definitely one who will never be forgotten and be truly missed. And we'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me here at Talk Live, Live on IG.